From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
All right, welcome back. That is Africa Sun by Mr. Tetu Shani. It's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive Show with me, Anne Wanyueke. I'm still here with my illustrious guest, Agnes, Mr. Glenn, as well as Jedida. And we are deep in the midst and the bones of having discussions about youth inclusion as pertains to democracy and democratic processes. And before we left off for a break, we wanted to talk a little bit about elections. And, 2027 is fast looming. It's upon us, right? But I'm sure there is a lot of things to talk about in terms of like the new voter base. Now, a big chunk of it, I'm hoping, would be the Gen Z, right? Yes. Do you see that could be a radical shift towards the outcome? Do you feel like that might redirect the outcome of the 2027 elections? And even as we talk about voter apathy, because for the longest time, young people have not been very forthcoming with, they've not been very enthusiastic with being voters and stuff like that. But I think with the Gen Z protest and 2025 also protest as well, there has been a sort of radical shift with that. So let me start with you, Jedida. Yes. Where do we go from here?
I think youth apathy is as a result of youth disenfranchisement, which is the total systemic disinclusion of youth in any national or whatsoever political ongoings. And therefore, I believe with the protest and conversations that have been going on, I am convinced that definitely there'll be a change in politics come 2027. But I think one thing that we are really, really not looking at is the reality of the new voting numbers, which is mostly the people who are coming out of high school. Because I think for the last 1 or 2 years, there have been like 1 million people joining or rather leaving high school, which means we have a very big gap to fill and rather shoes to step in, because that is a sway vote. And, the earlier we are able to do the political and civic education to those people for them to understand anything that pertains politics. Because I understand our education does not groom anyone enough for voting or even just politics in general. You just come out green, and whatever you find on the table, that is in terms of your friends, your family, or just the community subscription to politics, that is what you move in. Because by then, you do not understand fully what it even means to be a voter. So I think in as much as we are looking at the Gen Z vote, that is the young people vote, I think we also have to look at, we have to look beyond that.
Yeah.
What are the new numbers? What does it look like to have this new number of people coming in? So how do we also include them and ensure they're able to, first of all, pick their voter's card, which I think is something that should be given once you get the ID. I mean, it's as simple as that. Because once you get your ID, why not get your voter's card?
Sure.
You are an eligible voter. So I think that is also something the government can look into, unless they have other motives or alternatives they can tell us. But
they always have.
But I think it's something they can actually look into. It's much easier of a process to just have the two of them together once you're getting your ID. So looking at the new numbers, I believe if you're able to get and to make the new dispensation of the young people to understand what it means as early and as soon as possible, we can be able to get the numbers and bring about a new crop of leaders, which we believe we can be able to call them out. And if possible, let us then vote people who can beat. If it's an option.
Sure. I mean,
it's an option.
Why not? Yeah. Glenn, do you foresee a voter revolution altogether?
For me, I am confident and 100% sure that change is already here. It's not even a matter of speculating whether key role in the coming elections, but I am 100% confident. And actually, most leaders that we currently have, they're just seated, but they don't have the power. And if you want to understand, if you want to really know that most leaders are just there, seated, but don't have power, you just have to look at how the things are moving on. When you see a leader sending police to murder people, to shoot protesters, that shows that the leaders do not have the power anymore. Because if a leader has power, he will understand that whatever is happening, he has control of it. But killing people means that power has already left the leaders. So generally, we as the youth, we really have, this is our time. And coming the next elections, that is 2027, I encourage all the youth to come out in numbers. Whatever the government will do, just make sure that as a youth, you get into the ballot. Whatever policies, whatever measures the government takes, be it, having multiple restrictions and whatever, don't care about that. But the fact is that we as the youth, we really need to understand that we have all that it takes to change what who our leaders will be. And another thing that I want to encourage the youth is that we need to understand that the change that we want will happen if majority of the government, if it is occupied by the youth. So even as we come out in large numbers to vote, we need to understand that how young leaders understand democracy is really quite different based on what we have observed from what our current, especially the older generation leaders understand as democracy. So there has been that kind of gap, and that gap is what we as the youth really need to come and feel. We really need to come and change the understanding of democracy all around.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about political parties. And first of all, are you a part of a political party? Is it complicated?
Situationships.
Are you in a
my
situationship like one of these Nairobian entanglements?
I do not share the views that the political party have anymore. So I think I'll research on how to check myself out.
All right, but you were
Yes,
part of a
political party.
Are you part of a political party?
Not really.
You?
At the moment, no.
At the moment, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so because you've been a part of a political party, I want us to touch a little bit about, whether political parties are helpful in terms of opening up the entryway for youth participation in democracy. And I have a lot of conversations with young people who are part of political parties, who are also serving as presidents and secretary generals and basically leaders in the youth wings of major parties in the country. And they share with me their frustrations about how ceremonial these youth leagues are. So let's talk a little bit about how can political parties, one, create, the space, right, for meaningful participation, but beyond that, they need to stop being ceremonial.
Yes.
Yeah. And you can share with us your experience. Even as a
You
political...
won't judge me, guys.
No, we will not. It's a safe space.
So I think I became a member of a certain political party.
Which you would withhold their identity.
I withhold their identity. Join a Subaru.
Okay.
Anyway,
Hey, Mambaru.
I think it was just to sign. I went there for the token. I think they were giving 500 shillings. So they said you go and then you sign your name.
Okay.
And then you say you're part of a meeting.
She sold her soul for 500 shillings, guys.
Is that bad?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes. But now because of the training by Ajibika and AYLF, I think I wouldn't make that mistake again. But also, I want us political parties. So I will answer your question. I feel like it's a very layered question. So I will answer it in this way. I think political parties are very important, the way our democracy works. And I share in the sentiments that Glenn and Jedida have echoed. I want to echo their statements that, when we are going to vote, we have the national and the devolved government. And I feel like a lot of us are focusing on the national government. I want us to look at it from this way. If we get MPs who are younger or who are more Gen Z minded, and also we get governors who are, I would love to mention the work of the governor in Muranga. They have like the first county to have a digitized public health record. And I think that wouldn't come if there was no good leadership, no matter his political party at the moment. But if we are able to, like, yes, the president is the sun, but at least you can like we aim at the sun. If we reach the moon, 50-50, we can work with that. So if we are able to get like-minded people in other spaces, also for MPs, so that they can check the government, put it in check. They're not just ceremonial people, as we have seen before. As far as the youth wing of political parties are concerned, so now my experience is that I feel the youth in the urban areas and the youth in the mashinani are very different.
Right.
For me, I feel the youth in the mashinani are more like active. The youth in the urban areas are, politics it's boring. Or he used to be like that, but now we're changing the narrative. But we have to, for us to have power and say in that political party, then we have to kind of be active. But I think the political parties that are at the moment, the system is structured in a way that you will always, like, you're at the table, but you will always be feeding from the crumbs, not the
or
main
you will
meal.
be the menu.
Yeah.
Yes, you are the food.
So if we can form a policy, I know we say we are leaderless, but if we look long term, even in democracies that have worked, if we get a good political party and we have structures and we know this is how we're going to group people, this is how we're going to recruit people, like Jedida said about the people who left Form 4, and we have a very strong leadership, I think we will be able to create a more long-term thing. Because what is the goodness in having a good president for 10 years? Then we have another bad one who will like ataeka tumchanga kwa all our white clothes. So there's no need for that. So if we start thinking about it long term, I think the youth, we should come up with a political party. I know it's going to be hard because we don't have the we have the political power, yes, but we don't have the economic power. So what can we do to get that? Because these other big people, they have mullah. They've been they've been like, because they're older, they've been doing shady businesses,
access,
and so we can't compete against that.
Correct.
But parties are important, very important.
Anyone wants to jump in quickly on that?
I think with political parties, understanding how the Kenyan context is, I think they keep on shifting ideologies, which, for example, the ODM, it was a movement before it became a fully fledged political party. So I think it all circles back to we as the voters. How ready are we to just, stand our ground? Because as much as we want to play the tribeless and the leaderless cards, as Koigi puts it, when the chips are low, we always subscribe to our tribes, because all factors constant, you all come from a tribe. So, and we understand how, volatile our politics is. When things are, when things go left, that is what they do. They just subscribe to the tribe. And considering we keep on, playing the cards, we are tribeless and all that, it sort of gives them a ground for them to play the cards of divide and rule, because it is also a system that has been used in every political, I think, political campaign and also in a voting year. There's always that divide that they do, which we cannot be able to tell if you're not very keen on politics, but it is always there. Whether it was in the 90s, whether it was, in the post-election violence, it's always there, because in our division, that is where they thrive, but in our unity, that is where they fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to jump in? Yes, please.
Maybe just to add on to whether political parties are important for the youth. I think they are important, but I think at the moment, first the focus should be on how are we going to be changing how things are working. How are we going to just ensure that basically, as my friend here has mentioned, even without economic power, that we still have a voice that is projected and that makes an impact. That means we have to rise from the ground as youth. And one thing that we need to understand that as youth is that we need to be really careful when it comes to joining political parties, because it's as youth, it is not about conforming to what is currently there. Actually, conforming to most of these political parties is what dilutes your leadership as a youth. And I think, I won't mention names, but we can see several examples. We can see several.
We are next to State House, please.
We can be able to see several examples of young leaders who have been called or even absorbed into certain political parties, and their voices have been diluted and silenced. You see, what happens is...
Do you mean Kasmal? Sorry. Kidding. Not kidding. Yes.
So basically what happens is one of the hot zones of corruption in Kenya is political parties.
Oh yeah.
The other is devolution. There's the devolution government. Its purpose was... the purpose it was created is really different from what it is achieving right now. So
Or not achieving.
Two hot zones that we have: political parties and devolution governments. When political parties, now, as I mentioned earlier, if as a leader, no matter whether you are a youth, no matter whether you are 60 years, once you get into corruption, once you get compromised in those shoddy deals that happen there, you can no longer fight corruption. And one thing that every Kenyan needs to understand is that once a leader is corrupt, he becomes foolish. So, and the worst part is that he becomes foolish, yet he cannot see that he's foolish. And that's why you see that even the current leaders that we are having right now, most of them do not understand they are foolish. And that's why they are not listening to the voices of the young people. When the youth come out to the streets, they think that these things are maybe, just gimmicks that the youths are bringing to the streets. But corruption and compromise is what makes a leader compromise. So as young people, we need to understand that political parties are really important. But at the moment, it's better to start... At the moment, it's very important that we as the youth become very careful about the current political parties that we have. It is better to have no political party and stand alone and stand on your own as an independent young leader than join a party that will compromise you and end up changing your view of what democracy really is.
Right. So AYLF has put together a campaign and an event to the lead up to the International Day of Democracy that happens annually on the 15th of September. So tell us about that campaign. Is the event open to everybody? Yeah? Agnes, take it away.
Okay.
What is the campaign?
So the campaign, I think for this year, AYLF, in collaboration with other partners, it was all about youth inclusion. So we have done many campaigns on social media, TikTok, going for the youth where they are. And I think for AYLF and also from me, I would like to tell the youth that whichever place you are in your workplace as a student, you always have a role to play to emancipate this country. So come join us. I think it will be at Ufungamano. It's open to everyone. Maybe we'll share the links for people to register.
So we can share them on our link.
Come everyone, come all.
Come all. All right. So as we conclude, the goal of that campaign is reimagining democracy, right? And a call to action for young people to reimagine democracy. So as your parting shots, starting with you, Agnes, how then do we reimagine democracy as young people? What would your clarion call be for young people?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think democracy will always and still remains for the people, by the people, and for the benefit of the people. Maybe the means that we will get that which benefits us is what might be a little bit different. But you always have a responsibility. You do not have to delegate responsibility to your MP, to even the leader that you idolize. You have to see for yourself. So yeah, just educate yourself, monitor these leaders, check their track records, like vet them seriously.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Kenya, there's still hope for the future.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful country. There's always hope.
Yeah, all right. Mr. Glenn.
Yeah, so my parting shot will be that one message that I would want to pass to the youth is that we need to understand that change in Kenya is very easy. It's not difficult. We need to understand that it is not difficult as we think. And what really matters is the leaders that we have and their idea of what democracy really is. As I have mentioned throughout the talk, my understanding of democracy is that it is, number one, first of all, you have to understand democracy as people's power. That means as Kenyans, we need to understand, we need to have that civic education, that understanding of your power as a Kenyan, and that lies in your vote. Number two is we also have to understand that the kind of leaders that we put into our leadership, into our government, really matters. The mentality that we need to change as voters is how we perceive campaigns. Leadership should not be expensive. And I repeat, as Kenyans, we need to understand leadership should not be expensive. If a young person needs to stand up as a leader, it should not be expensive. Don't ask for young leaders for money if they don't have money. Don't ask for money, because the leaders whom you've asked for money, you can see their results. They get in there and they only look at ways that they can be able to get their money back. So don't ask for money from young leaders when they stand. Leadership should not be expensive. And the other third thing that I think is really important is, as I mentioned earlier, and this goes to the youth, we need to really strive to ensure that at least 60% of the government is youth. And I believe that this can happen. We as the majority can make that impact. Once we have youth leaders in all the arms of the government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, it will become very easy to raise our voice and project our leadership to the whole country.
Right.
Then we can be able to bring in our policies and our understandings of democracy that can really impact the country in a positive way.
Right.
In that manner, we'll not even need 5 years. Just 1 year, 2 years, we'll be able to start seeing changes. Yeah.
Right. Last but not least, Miss Jedida, your call to action.
I think for me, imagining democracy is imagining Kenyans healing from the Stockholm syndrome that we have.
Yeah.
That is that bad behavior of just electing bad people. Yani, we know they are bad, but it's like the more you're bad, the more attractive you are. So I think for me, reimagining democracy is us healing from that very bad behavior and just allowing ourselves to have good governance, because it is possible. There are people who are able to lead us because we have seen it, so why not? So I think reimagining democracy is just us allowing ourselves to do our part. Because once we read the Constitution, once we understand how it works, once we're able to, be able to step up and do our political and democratic work as citizens, I think leaders do not have any other thing other than also stepping up and doing their job. Yeah, that's all from me.
Awesome. Guys, this has been very, nice. Thank you so much, guys, for making the time and honoring our invite to come. But unfortunately, we are out of time. We're squeezed for time. But one conversation I keep saying is never enough. So please come back again. Please. Come back again. Of course, I will. This is me inviting you. This is me shooting your shot. Yeah. Mtatenga, sindio? Mtatenga wakati. Sawa sawa. Agnes, Glenn, and Jedida, thank you so much. You guys are the now and the future. And we are super excited to see where this journey leads you. Please lead us to the promised land.
Canaan.
Tupelekeni Canaan. Yeah, and to AYLF, thank you so much for being superstars. Now, I know you can't see him, but he's here with us in studio. Mr. Emmanuel, shout out to you for the amazing job that you're doing with young people in mainstreaming their voices and also showing them what really they can do with their power. So it's really, really cool. And yeah,